Counter-Narrative News, bringing you daily news today on Wednesday the 29th of March 2023. Late on Monday, tragically in Mexico at the border town of Ciudad Juarez, at least 38 migrants have died in a fire in a detention center there. Some reports are that the detained migrants were told that they would be forcibly removed to their country of origin, and therefore they conducted a protest, including setting alight their mattresses. Whatever the case is, there's also reports that basically the fire was continuing to rage and expand without the detention center workers opening doors and allowing the detainees to escape from the fire, resulting in dozens of people dying. Once again, this shows that the working classes in migrant routes around the world is a political issue which is being dumped from across the political spectrum, of course from right, but also through to left. These migrants have no political leadership. They have no political advocacy. They are a globally oppressed group which is growing in numbers without any political leadership. It was left to the Pope to express his solidarity and his prayers to the migrants who tragically died. Where is the political advocacy? Where are the radical political forces defending these migrants? There's supposed to be a left-wing president, so-called, in Mexico itself. But he seems to be, that's Obrador, is collaborating openly with the colonial border regime racket and oppression with the United States entity as well. Going over to Ghana, the Vice President of the US, Kamala Harris, has been visiting. She is obviously there to compete for Africa against the rising global competitors in global capitalism, which is challenging European and Western imperialism, that's Russia and China's encroachments upon Africa. All of these parties represent very similar relationships and economic orders with Africa: extractive, capitalist, neo-colonial, looting, racist death squads who are conducting massacres of civilians across Africa. Take your pick, they're all at it, they're all at the same racket, directly or indirectly. The African people currently have no real alternative that's people-centered and has the best interests of its workers and peasants. Kamala Harris visited the Black Star Gate, which was the monument whereby the Ghanaian revolutionary leadership announced their independence in 1957. Kamala Harris also went to the Cape Coast, to the so-called slave castle, where European colonialists enslaved African people and held them here to be tortured and raped and then sent off through the Middle Passage to the Americas. And it was another thing whether these people would have survived that route over there. Millions of people died en route, and then they were put to enslavement largely in sugar plantations, concentrating this new working class in the world as the biggest actually centers of the working class at the time. For example, in the 1790s, Haiti had the biggest concentration of industrial working class in the agricultural sector, albeit anywhere in the world. At the slave castle, Kamala Harris said that this history of enslavement of African people, quote-unquote, this history must be learnt. And she postured eloquently, as she does, in terms of the rights of African women today and their lack of political empowerment. All of this is quite hypocritical, and we're reminded of the words of Malcolm X, who, probably having listened to revolutionary leaders of the socialist pan-Africanist course like Abdul Rahman Babu, of which he was very keen in his comradeship, informed Malcolm X that USA neo-colonialism is bringing this hypnotizing attraction called quote-unquote dollarism to the continent, and Africans must not be manipulated by that. Indeed, the struggle and the challenge of the Global South right now is to develop what's currently absent, which is a people-centered struggle for independence, which is informed by socialistic orientation. Finally, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, a close client state and a white supremacist, violently white supremacist sectarian state in the region, client state of the British and US imperialists, has joined the Shanghai Cooperation Organisation. The SCO was formed on the 15th of June in 2001 and in Shanghai, led by China, Russia, and also with Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan. And then Uzbekistan was also admitted. In July 2015, the SCO, the Shanghai Cooperation Organisation, admits India and Pakistan into its multilateral body, and on the 5th of October 2007, the SCO signs a Memorandum of Understanding with the CSTO, which is basically the military alliance of the former states, led by Russia, of the former Soviet Union. Now, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization is a body that deals with trade, trade relations, economic relations, political dialogue. It's one of the biggest multilateral organizations in the world, comprising nearly 50% of entire humanity. However, one can see that in the case of the January 2022 intervention of the CSTO military alliance into Kazakhstan, crushing the workers' uprising there, we can see the political trajectory and strategy of the SCO. And then with the admission of a toxic state like Saudi Arabia coming into its membership, this can only push this whole body towards a more anti-people, pro-toxic right-wing capitalist direction. So there's some concerns going forward in that regard, even though it somehow does indicate a new quote-unquote pole of power in the world that's coming into this community, global community of neo-colonial capitalist economic racketeering, which the SCO and its leading representative states are competing for the right to loot the labour and the natural wealth of the racialized black and brown workers and peasants. That's Counter Narrative News. Wishing everyone a fantastic day, and please continue to support us by encouraging your friends and contacts to subscribe to our YouTube channel, comment, like and share. We wish you a fantastic day.